Frankenstein, now a terrifying adventure module for any system and level. Available for download at questgivers.com. Recently, Critical Role started campaign number 3. While most of the players are playing new characters, Travis Willingham chose to continue playing his character, Sir Bertrand Bell, from the previous season. Bell was an 18th level fighter, and now 30 years have passed, and Bertrand is now level 5. That's right, he's busted down to level 5. Why would Matt do this? And more importantly, why would Travis ever agree to losing 13 levels? Well, it's because Matt and Travis know one of the truths about role-playing games. Leveling up is really a curse. Welcome to Dungeon Craft. I'm Professor Dungeon Master.
And I'm Deathbringer. Level up your game by subscribing.
Players live to level up. It's their measure of success in the game of D&D. Leveling up was first conceived by D&D co-creator Dave Arneson, whose players said, "Hey Dave, this game is fun, but you know what would make it more fun? If we could survive more than one hit." And that is how hit points, hit dice, and leveling up were invented. I've been running the same continuous campaign with the same characters for over 25 years now, and whenever I tell people that, they say, "Wow, what level are these characters?" And they're shocked to find out that the characters are only 5th to 7th level. And the next question I'm asked is, who the hell wants to play a game with you? Well, it turns out lots of players, and my players understand what Travis and Matt understand. Leveling up is a curse. The faster the characters level up, the closer you are to the inevitable end of your character and the campaign. Tracy Hickman, in his excellent book, Extreme Dungeon Mastery, writes, "Leveling up is a plague that has infected the otherwise healthy body of role-playing. We're not against the idea your character should advance. What XDM is against is the idea that any player with enough levels becomes an indestructible tank on legs. Once 5e characters get to about 7th to 8th level, they become close to invincible. And not only that, the game starts to take longer because the more feats, spells, and bonus actions players have access to, the more time they spend making choices. A 9th level spellcaster has more choices than a Cheesecake Factory menu, and making those choices takes up a lot of time, and it can slow the game down to an absolute crawl. Moreover, top-level game masters and designers know that leveling is completely artificial because as the characters grow in power, the monsters also grow proportionately in power. It's going to seem really cool when your magic user attains 5th level and can cast that fireball and just lay waste to a room full of orcs. But pretty soon they're going to encounter a fire giant who is immune to fireball, and then it's like you're a first level character again, except the combats are still going to take longer. That's what's meant by the scalability problem of D&D. As the characters get more powerful, everything slows down till it seems like it's operating in slow motion, and that is why most players give up on the game and restart their campaigns before they ever hit 10th level. According to Wizards of the Coast data, only 1 out of 20 D&D players are playing a character right now that is above 10th level. And in fact, most players stop playing the game around 7th level, make up new characters, and just start a new campaign. Which is perfectly cool. If you're new to the game, you might want to play a bunch of characters, right? You've never played a bard before, or a rogue before, or an artificer before, and you want that experience. My players are really attached to their characters, the NPCs, the world that they live in. They like returning to those characters again and again, like familiar characters on a television show, like Star Trek. And they understand if the campaign is going to continue, their characters cannot get too powerful. Recently, Dale Kingsmill on Monarch's Factory asked this question: what if D&D did away with leveling altogether? And she proposed this system. What if there were prerequisite feats and spells and you built your character a la carte? Very much like a university system, right? Where you have to take pre-calc, then calc, then calc 2. You would have to take first level spells, then second level spells, and third level spells. And now instead of spell level being different than character level, it would be a lot less confusing. And people could build their own characters and have complete freedom and not be restricted by class. It's a really cool thought experiment, and I'm including a link to it below. But I think that levels are very attractive to players because they function as a sort of token economy. They're easy to understand. It's easy to balance encounters and say, yeah, this is a scenario for levels 3 to 5, and this should be the challenge rating for the monsters. I've played other game systems like RuneQuest that are percentile based, and a big jump in RuneQuest would be your sword ability going from 55 to 58. But that wouldn't even equal +1 on a 20-sided die. So advancement is comparatively slow. An experienced RuneQuest character is nowhere near as powerful as an experienced D&D character. Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay uses a career system, but saying I'm on my 3rd career, that just seems like you've got a job in the pharmaceutical industry. Like, I moved from Merck to Pfizer, but now I'm at Novartis. It's my 3rd career. It just doesn't have that sense of accomplishment that you get when you say, I went from 6th to 7th level. So I don't think D&D is getting rid of leveling up anytime soon. And neither should you if you enjoy that type of campaign where you go up to 7th, 8th level and then everybody starts again. If you want to have a new campaign every 6 months, you should run D&D just the way it's written. But if you want to have a campaign where the story continues for years and you can revisit those characters again and again for possibly years or even decades, then you have to have a slower advancement system. It's just something to keep in mind as you play your game the way you want to play it. At least that's what I think. What do you think? Share your ideas in the comments below. Also below, you'll find a link to Dungeon Craft on Facebook and Patreon, and a link to my module Frankenstein, so check those out. And check out my review of Return of the Lazy Dungeon Master right over here. I'll see you soon. May all your rolls be 20.
Deathbringer again! Trivia question. Which monster drains the most levels? The answer is alimony. Now get a t-shirt and watch more Dungeon Craft.